Hi guys, this is Racing on the way with another video. This what if Asta Purple Sonic Shadow Super and Blaze. Well, after this, Asta was defending himself against the Royals. Asta was thinking about knocking him out and just leaving, but he has a bad feeling about this. So he decided to just dodge and reflect. But he's really getting annoyed. Once he jumps on the last table, you can see that his hair is slightly going red, more like a red aura around him. There's a little bit of flicker of fire around his foot. Now, if you guys are wondering what this look like, just look up the opening of Shadow the Hedgehog when he's about to attack one of the soldiers, when he's about to use a Chaos Blast. And for his shoes, just think of fire coming at the bottom of it. Not enough to completely surround it, but flickers of it. If you look hard enough, you can see that there's flames at the bottom of it. Okay, so they go right back to Amy and Asta. And they get into badmouth, like how a peasant begins to stand up against a royal. Before they can continue, the captain of the Lions basically comes out telling him to stop this nonsense. Asta comes right next to him and basically points at the royal that tried to attack him, basically saying, you guys give royalty a bad name. They basically look at him and say, what do you mean, peasant? Asta basically looks at it and tells him, you basically blame Noelle for something she couldn't control. And when I basically stand up to defend herself and get on the table, instead of basically kindly asking me to get down, you outright attack me. Asta begins to smile and look away while tapping his foot, saying that, I wonder why y'all did that. Is it because you're insecure because we're better than you and you know that? And so you try to put us down? They basically look at Asta and saying, what, you think we're scared of you commoners? Asta basically looks at him and tells him, yeah, you just attacked me because I defended one of your own that you rejected for no reason, by the way. Asta grabs Noelle's and Yuno's arms and drags them closer to the Lion Mage, basically saying, just you wait. These two commoners and a reject is about to outclass you all. Just wait and see. After saying that, Asta gives him a cocky look, while Noelle gives him a shaky but determined look. Now, as for Yuno, he's giving them a stone-cold look, but a little bit of determination in there too. After hearing that, the younger brother of the Lion Mage comes up to Asta and puts his hands out, basically telling Asta that you're my rival now. Asta shakes his hand and tells him, sure, why not? The more the merrier. After they're done talking, one of the royals begins to burst through the door, telling them the kingdom's being under attack. After hearing that, they all stop and look at that royal and basically ask, what do you mean? You basically have to go into detail, telling them that there's an unknown group attacking the kingdom. After saying that, he uses magic to show what he's talking about. After hearing that, Asta uses his psychokinesis on one of his swords, breaking the window. After doing that, he gets into a figure 8 stance. Before he leaves, Noelle begins to ask him, where are you going? Asta tells her, I'm going where the most noise is, and runs out the window. After Asta leaves, Leo begins to say, that's my rival, and begins to rush out the window as well. Not completely sure about him being rivals with each other, decides to just fly out the window as well. While Asta's running, he begins to look at his Demon Slayer sword. Basically begins to wonder, well, the big one's used for slicing and reflecting magic. You can also cut magic as well, but what else can you do? Begins to wonder this, but does focus on it too much. And while on his left hand, he uses his psychokinesis. He prefers using his psychokinesis while using one sword in his hand. That way he can use it as just a basic projectile or slice. It can also be used as a shield so it can block our hero from far away distance. Well, after running, he sees a group of zombies, wondering what are these, but begins to slice them up. While he's running through the kingdom, he basically sees a girl about to be attacked. The guy sends out his puppet to attack the little girl. But before that happens, Asta uses his psychokinesis and covers her in a barrier. After the little girl gets attacked, they all see there's a barrier around her. The guy is wondering what is this. Before he knows it, his undead puppet gets destroyed by Asta's Demon Slayer. Asta throwing his sword and using a chaos spear behind it to make him go faster and do a lot more damage. Asta, seeing his sword go through the undead puppet, destroying it in one go, decides to homely attack the guy on the top of his head, basically pushing his head to the ground and knocking him out. After using a homely attack to knock him out, pulls out his Demon Slayer sword and lays it on the guy's chest. After that, he basically grabs the girl that he was protecting and teleports her to a random location till he sees some civilians and hands to the girl. Looking around and seeing that most of the zombies all around are basically dissolving. After seeing them dissolve, he begins to wonder, was the guy knocked out, was he controlling all of them? He decided to hurry back to the person. and see that the guy is still knocked out with his sword laying on his chest. Asta, not completely sure what to do with the person, he decides to teleport him to a random knight, handing him over to them. After handing him over, he decides to basically go on a run, see if anybody else needs help. Asta begins to run around, not completely sure what to do next, until he sees, fighting off against a random witch that's probably with the group. Basically looks at it for a few seconds and decides to run off in a different direction, saying that can handle himself. Asta begins to search around some more until he sees Noelle and Leopold. While Asta is going up to her, he sees that she's worried, basically asking her what's going on. She looks at Asta and tells her that some of the captains have been teleported out of the kingdom. After saying that, the captain of the Lion Mage comes out and basically tells them, so that is true then. Noelle begins to look at Asta saying, well, can't you teleport and bring them back here? After Noelle says that, Asta begins to float up into the air, basically looking around, seeing about where the captains land. Asta begins to look until he sees some specks outside the capital. He begins to fly faster until he sees that it's the captain trying to come back in. Asta teleports right in the middle of them, and they all get ready to attack him. He basically tells them, stop, it's just me. Yami looks at Asta and basically asks, what are you doing here? Asta looks back at his captain and tells him, well, I'm the captain's right. Without them saying anything else, Asta teleports them all back into the capital. After saying that, they all gather around Asta and begins to teleport them back to the capital. Asta teleports them into the middle of the capital, telling Yami that he's about to go meet up with Noelle and begins to teleport into their location. Once Asta meets up with Noelle and Leopold, they basically look worried. He walks up to them and basically asks what's going on. Noelle begins to tell Asta someone with special magic just kidnapped the Lion's Mage captain. Leopold asks him, telling him that someone with spatial magic just made a portal under his feet and just took him away. After taking this information in, Asta begins to think, there's only one person I know that has spatial magic, and he needs to know the location. Asta begins to look around until he sees a pile of bodies. Asta points at the bodies and tells Leopold to attack. Him and Asta makes a fireball and throws it right at them, destroying them in the process. After destroying the bodies, they see a portal begins to close under it. Asta basically tells them whoever that was just kidnapped your captain. Asta begins to wonder about where that person went until he sees a bunch of mages about to get ready to attack them. Before the mages can attack them, Noelle uses her sea dragon lair and makes a water dome around them. After Noelle puts up the dome, they try to attack it, but it doesn't work until he begins to use some tree magic to absorb the water. After Asta sees this, he pulls out his hand and grabs the bark of the tree, burning it in the process. Asta looks at Noelle and tells her, I'm going out there. Keep this up just in case I need to fall back. Leopold tells her, I'm coming too, and they both jump out. While they're in the midst of fighting, a portal above their heads begins to open up. Noelle sees this and shouts above you. They both look up and see the captain of the Lion Mage falling from the portal with one arm. Asta catches him before he hits the ground, but decides to cauterize the wound, that way he won't bleed out too much. After using enough fire to cauterize the wound, he basically hands him over to Noelle to make sure he's safe. Once they're done dealing with the mages, a random portal begins to pop under Asta. With a little bit of cockiness and with anger, because the person who respected him just got hurt, he decides to let the portal take him over, but decides to keep hold on both his swords. When Noelle sees this, she changes out Asta's name. He looks at her and gives her this calm look, but when the portal begins to swallow him whole, he gives her a cocky look, letting her know that he got this. After they teleport Asta to an unknown location, they try to capture him. Asta uses his sword and stops one of the traps, basically moving out the way, dodging them. While they're trying to shoot Asta, he continues to dodge, wondering if that's the best they can do. After Asta dodges one last time, he basically stops and revs up. He basically said, so the reason why y'all got away with this so successfully is because y'all got lucky. Asta gets to a running stance, charging up even more, basically growling at them and telling them, well, your luck just ran out. And before he can run, a bubble surrounds each of the group members. Asta stops charging and basically wonders, what is it? Asta walks up closer, seeing that there's a ring around the bubble, having symbols on it, wondering what it means. Someone behind Asta tells him that's my magic. He looks behind him and sees that it's the Wizard King. Asta basically asks him, how long were you just standing there? The Wizard King tells him, oh, I just got here. Asta looks at him and tells him, alright, well, thanks for the help. The Wizard King tells him he's welcome. They begin to walk around until they find a room with magical gems on a tablet. The Wizard King tells Asta to use our magic stones. Asta looks at him and asks, so what should we do with them? Before he can decide to do with those crystals, someone used their magic to flash them. Asta, while being blinded, tried to use his fire to attack the person, but the person dodges it and grabs the tablet.